Greetings, everybody. I'm Alan Butler with the Helmet Center, and today we're talking with David Steele about a cool ride that he took. Thanks so much for joining us, Dave. How's it going out there today, buddy?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much. So tell me a little bit about this ride that we're discussing today. From where to where? Who was involved and what were you riding?
All right. So this happened about 2 years ago, and it was a ride from Glendale, from our store in Glendale, up to Alpine, Arizona. If you guys don't know, Alpine is in the northeast corner of the state,
That's close
and
to the border of New Mexico, right? Is that where it is
indeed
approximately?
it is.
Okay.
Yep, indeed it is. So there's a highway up there that is now called the 191, but back in the day it was 666. So it's got a nickname as the Devil's Highway. And some of the road signs are still up there, but it's now 191.
Okay.
So when we took this trip, it was me and Tony, my business partner at the time, and a guy named Mike and a guy named Darren, and it was the four of us. And it was just a quick weekend trip. It took us 2 days. We left on a Saturday morning, probably about 7, 8 a.m. We were up there by 4 in the afternoon and came home the next day. So it was a one-night stay, so it didn't cost us too much, and it was a fun 2-day trip.
Yeah, I saw the map that you sent over, and I'll show it to the audience. It looks like a big loop. You went up through Payson area up to 260, over to Alpine, and then down. So that looks like a trip of probably, what do you say? That's 300 miles, maybe?
Miles, I don't remember. Again, I didn't know there was a geography test here, but time-wise, it's probably about 11 hours of riding.
Yeah.
So I think to get out there, it was a good 5 or 6 hours, and to get back 5 or 6 hours. So we made a big loop out of it. So we headed east and went through Globe and out to Safford and then up through Clifton. We stopped there to see the mine, which is pretty cool if you've never seen it before.
Yeah.
And then stopped there and ate some dinner. And then from there, we headed up to Alpine, which pretty much the ride from Clifton up to Alpine is the reason you take the ride up to Safford. It's pretty boring. It's a lot of slab riding.
Yeah.
But once you get up to the mine and from there on up, it gets pretty twisty. Now, here's what I will say is if you're a new rider on this thing, be careful. Take it easy the first time. The first third of the Devil's Highway, a lot of tight corners, some debris on the road. The middle third is starting to open up. Roads a little cleaner. And the top third is just smooth, winding roads and amazing. We did have 2 different elk run out in front of us, so be careful for wildlife, especially if you're getting up there late at night in the dark. We left, like I said, probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think we were there probably by 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Okay. And you guys stayed the night in Alpine?
That is correct, yeah. I'll be honest, I don't remember the name of the hotel, but there's only a handful, maybe 3 or 4 in Alpine. It's a pretty small city.
Yeah.
And we rented it for the night in advance, and we had it reserved before we got up there.
Nice.
Rode the bikes up there. You park them right outside the hotel room. There is a little restaurant there. There's a restaurant across the street. And just got up there, got our gear off, had a nice cold beer, enjoyed the, camaraderie of the trip on the way up, had a real good dinner. Got to bed at a decent hour, got up the next day. It was nice and chilly out. There was a whole field full of elk across the way from us. And we went from there then up to Greer and lots of winding roads up there as well. Stopped at a big lake up there. I think if I remember right, I think it's called Big Bear Lake, but I'd have to double check that.
Okay.
Got a couple cool pictures there, a couple that I included in this slideshow here. And then we headed back through Payson and came back down.
Nice. So tell me about the time of the year that you did this.
We did this in July, and I'm going to be honest with you, the trip out to Safford sucked because it was pretty hot out in July.
Yeah.
The problem is if you go much later than that, then you get up to Alpine and it's pretty damn chilly up there. So, that's why we left pretty early. We got on the road by, 7, 8 o'clock, I think in the mornings when we left. So the first 4 or 5 hours up to Safford was pretty warm. But once we got up to Alpine, it was beautiful. So, could you go a little later in the season? Yeah, maybe September, this time of year probably.
I was going to say this time of year would probably be perfect.
Yeah, this is and again, it's something you can do on a weekend. You don't need a 4-day weekend off of work.
Yeah.
We went on a Saturday morning. We were home by Sunday evening. So we didn't have to get any vacation time or anything like that. And, the traffic isn't terrible because it's kind of a remote area. So there's not a lot of people on cars going up there to drive. So it's not a big camping area with people in motor homes and things. It's pretty desolate out there. So
well, and you get a nice flavor of the geography of Arizona on that trip too. I mean, you coming out of the desert, going up to the high desert, getting up into the Alpine, woods area, and then back down through the desert again.
Yeah, so when you get up to Alpine and Greer area, if you guys have never been there, it's amazing. There's actually a ski hill up there. Who thinks of a ski hill in Arizona, but there is one. And Snow Bowl, I think is what that one's called.
Hmm.
But it's higher elevation and it's cooler. There's elk, there's deer, there's bear, there's pine trees, there's cabins.
Yeah.
It's perfect for having a fire at nighttime and getting up in the morning, have a nice cup of coffee outside. I got another picture of me. You'll see there my feet, sitting up on the edge. That was in the next morning. We got up, had a cup of coffee, getting ready to ride, had feet up on the fence, looking out across the range where the elk were, and
That's nice. That's
yeah,
nice.
made a 2-day ride out of it.
So tell me about what you were riding, and generally this is a street bike ride. What were you riding?
Yeah, so I'm on my tried and true Bandit 1200. It's pretty much any of the street rides I tell you about are going to be on the trusty old Bandit. But there's sport bike guys, there's cruiser guys, Goldwing guys, trikes, adventure bikes. You can't obviously ride a dirt bike. Well, I mean, I guess you could ride a dirt bike up there, but it'd be a pretty long ride.
Yeah.
This is for street bikes, adventure bikes, cruisers, that kind of thing. And it's really, I mean, you could do it in a car if you really wanted to, but the idea is obviously motorcycling curves,
Yeah.
beautiful roads. But yeah, I mean, pretty much any street bike will do it.
Yeah, no kidding. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Dave. Slightly
Yeah.
off topic. Have you been in the habit of, or have you ever like literally packed gear and did some kind of a camping trip from like a backpack or something like that? Is that something that you've ever done?
Um,
So that you didn't have to stay in a hotel?
I have not personally, only because when I was into my dirt biking, I was into single track riding, which is, kind of a real small bike and real tight trails.
Yeah.
And then all my street bike touring stuff has been pretty much hotels. But, if you're into the adventure bike thing, which a lot of guys are nowadays, you can, of course, pack tent and sleeping bag and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff on the bike and do it. I just haven't done it. Just because I quite frankly didn't have any friends that did that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And again, the dirt bike I had wasn't big enough for those kind of rides, and the street bike isn't off-road worthy to take. So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, guys with Beamers and KTM big adventure bikes, that's totally something they can do. Now, I don't know where there's camping up there, but I'm sure there is some.
Yeah.
But again, at night it gets pretty chilly up there, so
Sure.
you'd have to do that one probably in the summertime.
Yep. Yep. Makes sense.
Big elevation change.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you just for a quick anecdote. I want to wrap this thing up. I know you're a busy guy. Anything noteworthy, funny, tragic, anything that really makes this trip stand out to you? What would you say?
Oh boy, let me see. All the food stops along the way were amazing. We stopped at every small mom and pop restaurant along the way. The food was amazing. Saw lots of wildlife, and I said lots of elk and deer. The views up at the top are just amazing. And again, there's a couple pictures that I included in here of us at the real high elevation. You got to be careful because there's some pretty good drops off. But as long as you just take your time and ride safe and ride within your means, you'll be all right. This trip was pretty uneventful. Thank God nobody hit the ground. Nobody got tickets. Everybody's bike made it back in one piece.
That's
Man,
good.
I can't think of anything besides
That's
the
good.
epic meal we had up there. We had these big old sandwiches and nice cold beer at the top. I mean, it was great. After, of course, we were done riding for the day. But yeah, nothing really stands out. If I was going to do it again,
Or what would you advise somebody who was thinking about taking this trip?
plan it a week or two in advance. Make sure you have a hotel set up there. Do bring a spare set of, like an extra warm sweatshirt to pack when you get up to the top.
Yep.
Bring your phone with lots of battery storage and stuff, or not battery, but a lot of storage for a lot of pictures. Just be safe. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing on this ride is just be safe. That first third of it's pretty boring, but that second third is really amazing. And then the trip down as you come down through Payson, yeah, you're going to run into some traffic there.
Yeah.
So just be careful on some of those roads because they are kind of narrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, just enjoy the scenery. Make sure you stop at the lakes and take epic pictures and just enjoy the outdoors while you're up there because it's a part of Arizona that a lot of people don't see and don't even realize is there. And rather than go up to Flagstaff where everybody else goes on the weekends,
Yeah.
kind of gets you out of the boonies, away from all the traffic and motorhomes and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
I totally agree. Yeah, I have been. I like Flagstaff. It's a nice, quaint town, but it's such a tourist trap, and there's so many people
weekends, it
there.
gets real busy.
Weekends real busy. So I've always been a guy who likes going east towards
Yeah.
Payson, Heber, Sholo, Pine Top. It's just
Yep.
it's much less populated. I like
Yeah.
being out away from the city.
Yeah,
Well,
it's real quiet up there, and all you're going to see is other motorcycles. Oh, actually, there was one thing that was kind of cool. I didn't include the photo in it, but we rolled up there and we got to the hotel, and there was a pickup truck and a trailer, and the trailer had Helmet Center stickers on it in the middle of nowhere. We got up there and we're like, get a picture with this trailer. It turns out it was one of the track guys that does track days through Excel track days, and he had a Helmet Center sticker on it. So here, me and Tony roll up to this town in the middle of nowhere, and our business name is on this guy's trailer. So it's pretty awesome. You know what? Actually, I'll include that picture if you want to throw it in here.
I would definitely.
Right here.
Right here. Very cool. Well, that's it, man. Anything else you want to share? I know you got a roll. I appreciate you coming on, man. It's awesome always talking with you. You got so many cool adventures. I was just going to say to those of you who are out there listening to this, we want you to come on and talk with us about your adventures, man, especially as we're getting close to this beautiful, beautiful time of the year when people are going to be, in the fall, before it gets too cold, people need to get out there and start riding. So if you've got an adventure you want to share with us, we'd love to talk with you. It's super laid back, just like Dave and I are doing right now. I just ask a few questions. It's super simple. And Dave has authorized me to offer you, if you're willing to do this with us, a $25 gift card to the Helmet Center. That's right. Money, baby.
Right. Everybody can use a little scratch for motorcycles.
Absolutely. Here. Christmas is coming, man. You gotta get yourself a Helmet Center gift card. So do let us know. I'm gonna put up the information down below. Reach out to me, man. I'd love to chat with you.
And Alan, I want to be, real clear with this is, these don't need to be epic 5-day adventures or, rides across different countries. I mean, mine was a 2-day ride on the weekend, but if you've never done the ride before, man, it's got great scenery, great camaraderie with your buddies. I mean, it's a lesson I'm going to remember or a ride I'm going to remember for a long time. So, it's one of the deals that is just, it's a quick everyday adventure, man. And
absolutely.
We want to hear about them.
And I think
or even side by side.
Absolutely. And I think the important thing is that, people love talking about the things that they love. Riders love riding, and I love talking about it. I love thinking about it. I love watching YouTube videos about it. Whatever it is, man, it's a passion. So come out and chat with me on a Zoom call like this for a couple minutes. We'll give you a gift card. So that's it, Dave. I appreciate you coming on, man. I hope that you continue to enjoy the holiday weekend with your family, and we'll touch bases with you again another time. Thanks, buddy.
I'm good, Alan. Thank you. I got plenty more stories.
I know you do. We'll talk to you.
Some other people. I want to hear from you guys out there.
Absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, man. We'll talk soon.
Take care.